Right. No, I appreciate what you're saying, and if I might, I mean, I kind of got to throw in to answer the question, everything that happened in 2002 with the Boston Globe revelations and the
Okay,
Spotlight
right.
series, and what at that time I was a transitional deacon, getting ready to be ordained a priest, and we were all going through a real soul searching period about our church because that there was this perpetual cover up of sexual abuse of minors by priests, that this had gone on for decades in the Catholic Church in the United States, pretty much all over the country. That was a fact that we finally had, everybody finally had inside the church had to face. And McCarrick was at that, was the public face of the church at the time, and was very much regarded as the common sense arbiter of what's the way to deal with this problem, and guided the whole church through that period to try to regain some kind of footing as a credible institution.
And if you
And,
were in the media and you needed some kind of quote to an answer or something, you would call McCarrick and
right,
say,
exactly.
here's the question. Give us the church perspective on this particular abuse situation.
Right,
Because
exactly.
he was kind of the spokesperson for the Catholic Church at that point, the U.S. Catholic Church.
He really was. Yeah, he
Yeah.
really was. And so we that summer was when the Dallas Charter was developed, which is inside the
Right.
church, kind of a well-known thing, that it was the response of the church to the sexual abuse
And
crisis.
that was a procedure document that basically said this is what happened before 2002, after 2002. This is how we're going to stop it from occurring. Is
That
that the
that
essence
was
of the
the
Dallas
idea.
Charter?
Right. We're now adopting these new binding policies that we will no longer transfer anybody who's been credibly accused. The credibly accused will be
Okay.
immediately suspended. There'll be no transfers. Um, it will be much more sympathetic to victims, listen to them, and we will put in place these procedures to guard children, the protecting God's children protocols, so to speak. Were put in place, criminal background checks for everybody, mandatory training for
Gotcha.
everybody, which those in and of themselves were very good developments, and I'm sure have done a lot of good over the course of the past couple decades.
Hmm.
Uh, but to have it hit me that we went through all that pain and of that, and then the subsequent years of, I mean, the burden of all those policies really fell on the parishes and the good people of the parishes. Anybody who wanted to be a catechist or a youth volunteer had to jump through all these hoops,
Right.
and willingly did it for the safety, and it was right for them to have done it.
Hmm.
But all these years put in by all these good people to keep the church a credible operation and protect children from abuse. All of that, when the man who was the spokesman for the church at the time was lying through his teeth about who he really was and what he was really all about, and
Hmm.
it was a crushing blow to me personally, and not and to the Catholics that I knew who had been through all that, along, all of us together had been through all that, recognized all that pretty quickly, and felt this profound betrayal, and that it was clear, even even from the very beginning, from that cryptic announcement about the settlements, it was clear that there were those who knew about this all along and had kept it secret all along, and that added to the um, disillusionment, and the kind of desperate search for some solid place to stand to believe in the church. I mean, that's which is kind of
Right.
what I was trying to do, what I was going through.
Okay. So when that information came out in the summer of 2018, did did that go into a vacuum and the only people that really understood it were you and the other priests on the East Coast that knew McCarrick or whatever? Or did you start getting any questions from your parishioners at either of your churches? Or if you had not said anything about it, they wouldn't know anything about it. It was just pieces of information that very few people would have seen.
No, certainly not that. The McCarrick revelation was a bombshell, I would say, for most Catholics. I mean, even the Spanish speaking people knew all about it. I mean, it was on the Telemundo as well as on the
Okay.
American works. I mean, uh, and so and it was followed up just less than 2 months later by the Pennsylvania grand jury report release in August of 2018, uh, which was a bombshell and touched people in my parishes personally, a good number of them who were from Western Pennsylvania, who knew some of the priests whose names were in that report.
Right.
So, um, so that,
Okay.